With that said, let's go on to the last song of the Underworld saga, which also just so happens to be the conclusion of Act 1. I may or may not have the same amount of things to talk about in this song, because it is the one that I listen to the least in this saga, but we'll see. Maybe there's gonna be a lot in the animation, and I'm gonna watch through once to really pay attention to the music as well. So, with all of that said, here we go. Oh, is this GG? Yes! I can tell by their art styles now.
With my estranged,
do I need to change?
I'm surrounded by the souls of those I've lost. I'm the only one who's lost.
Oh, it's all his reflections.
What if the greatest threat we'll find across the sea?
And another reflection.
What if I'm the monster? What if I'm in the
Wrong.
What if I'm
the problem?
that's been hiding all along? What if I'm the one who killed you?
That's kind of a callback to the Athena song as well, right?
What if I've been far too kind to foes, but a monster to ourselves?
I like how they always highlight monster. Ah, and that's what we saw in Just a Man. The sheep! And we are Circe. Yeah, and the tentacles were Poseidon. Somehow. Oh, that's the thumbnail for this whole movie. I was wondering why I didn't see it in the first two songs. I like that they are showing Gigi's animation here. I became monster. Yep, the callback. Deep down. I lost my mentor, my mom, 100 men gone. Get to see Penelope. From a wall. That's so extreme. Yes! His name turns red. Yes! Oh, this animation is so good. Is Penelope purple? Oh, I didn't see what she pulled out. Whoops.
I'll become the monster.
Brown. So good! Oh, that might have been my favorite animation so far. Oh! Oh! Okay. I feel like there are so many visual things that we can talk about. And like I mentioned, I like that they decided to include Gigi's in the animation in this one, because there are a lot of callbacks to the first two songs.
How has everything been turned? Come so endless. I'm
And
surrounded.
then this part, I wasn't expecting it really, because he says I'm surrounded by the souls of those I've lost. I thought Gigi was gonna, basically show all of the souls again, but I guess it kind of looks like they are at the end of the underworld, in a sense. Like, I don't think there's necessarily an end to the underworld, but like they're basically almost back out again. Or at least that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with the visuals here.
Surrounded by the souls of those I've lost.
So the reflections here, all showing Odysseus, caught me a little bit off guard. But, it also still makes sense, because, over here there's a lot of reflections here, both on the shiny rock thingies, there's the water here, and then him looking into the water. It's the whole point of this song is kind of to get Odysseus to self-reflect, really. So I think all that portrayal works very, very well. And yeah, over here, I'm not sure if it was Gigi who also drew it. I don't think so. But Warrior of the Mind, when Athena says that she was gonna remind Odysseus about, like, basically his origins, there was also this scene where Odysseus's reflection pulls him into the water and back into a memory, sort of. So yeah, I like that there's even a visual callback, because musical callbacks are very, very, very prominent in this entire album. So I like that there's now also a visual callback.
I'm the one who killed you. And was but a monster to. Is the Cyclops struck with guilt when he kills?
And then,
Is he
yeah,
up in the middle of the night?
the Cyclops
Does he end my
and the sheep. Oh, you fuck! I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on, let me. Why? Why do you do this? Why do you do this to the best boy polities? Why? Oh, I didn't even see that just now. But yeah, showing the Cyclops treating his sheep well, and then also with the missing eye. It's fine, because, I was thinking that with the Cyclops, at least as big as I imagine him to be, he could easily accidentally squish his sheep also. So it was a bit weird that he was able to touch them so gently and all. But anyway, that's just a small thing. And then Circe turning men to pigs. She looks like so evil over here. But yeah, I like this depiction when Odysseus is kind of reflecting on her behavior, like wondering whether or not she feels more or less remorse for turning the men into pigs. But then it's sort of like if anybody has to make a painful choice, it should be the leader, right? Which is almost kind of what Odysseus takes upon himself also by the end of the song. So yeah, that's that. And then again, with all of the octopus tentacles, does Poseidon have them? Or is this like the Kraken? I'm very confused.
God comes down and makes the fish drown. Is he scared that he's doing something wrong? Or does he keep
And what is this?
us in check? So we must respect.
Some kind of sacrifice?
He's doing something wrong. Or does he keep
That's clearly Poseidon with the trident. And then I guess it's kind of common in Greek mythology for sacrifices towards gods. So I would imagine this is what is being portrayed here. That looks like a goat. And I actually kind of like this, how unnatural and what's the word? My vocabulary is failing me again. Inhuman that Poseidon looks over here. I really like that. Because again, he isn't human. Like far from that, he's like if I'm not wrong, like the big tree in Greek mythology. It's the big tree, right? That's Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, I believe. Again, I'm very unsure, but I believe there are the three of them are brothers in the mythology. And yes, the callback to Gigi's drawing of the quote-unquote monster all the way back in Just a Man. And then that's the light blue. No, but they're all bandaged up over here. Is this supposed to be in the end? Like, just nice the end of the Trojan War? Because back in Just a Man, the light blue, the brighter and light blue was supposed to be a flashback. I became the monster, threw that guilt away. And yeah, the drawing of his monster version, I like that a lot. And now he's like facing himself and all. Polites, Athena, Anticlea, Penelope, Amicus. I would say it makes sense because like the thing that I want to point out here visually is that Telemachus has always been drawn as a baby. Yeah, no, just once in Just a Man. And I bring this up because it's by the same animator. In Just a Man, there was just once where Telemachus is drawn being more grown up. But yeah, I was gonna point out it's interesting that all of the depictions, well, almost all of the depictions of Telemachus has always been more of a baby, which again makes sense because that was the last time that Odysseus saw him, and this musical is largely from the perspective of Odysseus. But you would think that he would imagine Telemachus being more grown up by this point. Or is that just me? I'm just randomly pointing that out and you know, getting some thoughts out. The infant from the wall. Yeah. Wait. Does this? Yes, I like that. So over here we see that it's still Odysseus and he's holding the baby. But then when he becomes the monster here, the baby is no longer in his hands. That is such a good detail. Because that is the exact moment he becomes a monster. And then here, he fully accepts it. And then it's just kind of, all of that. Like it's slowly becoming part of him and integrating into his person. Like, see, half Odysseus, half monster. That is great. And then also, like, I want to believe this was completely intentional. It's not purple here, like it is just a few frames later. See, there's a gradient between white and purple, and the white is like his monster self almost, like the black and white thing. But then Penelope is the purple, like his vulnerable, most like sort of sweetheart mode. What does she pull out? From the head. Is this like his crown? Like, is that supposed to mean that he's no longer going to think of himself as the king? Maybe? Possibly? I don't know. Oops, sorry. I'm getting a ringing in my ears. Let me go back a bit. Yeah, give me a few seconds. I just need to let it ring out. Okay, we're good. This is mercy upon ourselves, and the monster being his reflection now, instead of his true reflection in the beginning. Yeah, all of his monster reflections here.
I'll become the monster.
And the monster eyes. Yeah, that is amazing. Okay, now with the animatics part done, let's listen closely to the music. If I'm not wrong, let me go back all the way. Yes! Yes! It is the same way that the horse and the infant starts. So that's another callback. And this was a great place to do that, because it's the end of Act 1 and how Odysseus is going to make a very thorough, complete, I don't know the word for it, my vocabulary is shit, but I hope you guys kind of understand. Like, this is where Odysseus goes through the big change, right? And where he's gonna do all of the self-reflection. So we go back to the very start of this musical so that he can go through all of the events he has encountered so far up to this point.
How has everything been turned against
An acoustic guitar
us?
sounds more steel string.
Suffering becomes so endless. How am I?
No, I think that's a bit of a reach. Anyway,
Becomes so endless.
it sounds familiar.
How am I to reunite with my estranged?
Reunite with my estranged. Again, the whole reflection part. He's now thinking about, what is my goal? And his goal is to get back with Penelope. And this is kind of like the reminder or like emphasis of it.
Do I need to change?
Do I need to change? Because so much shit has happened. And again, the strings immediately come in once he mentions Penelope, because clearly he's thinking about Penelope.
I'm surrounded by the souls of those I've lost. I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed.
This is the one line that I do not understand. I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed. What does that mean? Like, I'm not asking that to be a rhetorical question. I genuinely don't understand. I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed. Clearly, we're talking about crossing the line of doing something too terrible. I'm the only one who, like, I haven't crossed my own line? What do you mean? You have blinded a Cyclops and let him live, which is... It's more dishonorable than it is merciful on Polyphemus. You have dropped a whole baby off of the castle walls. I I would say STNX should have been aligned there. Oh, I don't understand what it means. If dropping a baby is still within your lines, then like how far do you draw the line, you know?
I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed. What if the greatest threat we'll find across the sea is me?
I want to listen to the strings again. I thought I heard something familiar.
Those I've lost, who I need to change. I'm surrounded by the souls of those I've lost. I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed.
I hate it when it feels like I have heard things somewhere before, but I cannot point out where. I swear to everything holy and unholy, I am going to lose sleep over this because it has been an hour and a half and I still cannot figure out this fucking puzzle. Okay, so first of all, let me just play out what the strings are playing and like this, so you guys can like focus on what puzzle it is that I am trying to solve. So in Monster, the strings go like this. That is the part that I'm trying to figure out because, like I am mentioning in the video, I have definitely heard this melodic line somewhere before. And now that I am trying to, go back to the older songs to find all of these melodic lines, I am starting to believe that it is from 3 separate parts, and I have only found 2 so far. The first one will be this. This part actually gets played in the Horse and the Infant when Odysseus first encounters STNX.
It's just an infant. It's just a boy.
And then after that, we have the second part, which is... I haven't been able to figure out this one yet, but the last one over here, it is slightly different, but I believe this is supposed to be like a variation of Anticlea's motif.
Mom?
Waiting, Odysseus, when you come home, I'll be waiting. Even if you're the last thing I see, I'll be.
So if we take just the top notes, it will be and over here in this song it is so kind of similar. I hope that is what that is referencing to, but this middle part, it has been an hour and a half and I cannot fucking find it. So please, I beg, if anybody in the comment section can tell me where that is from, I would very much appreciate it, because I should have been getting ready to sleep for like an hour at this point, but I cannot.
I'm the only one whose line I haven't crossed. What if the greatest threat we'll find across the sea is me? What if I'm the monster? What if I'm in the wrong? What if I'm the problem that's been hiding all
There's also a choir again.
What if I'm the one who killed you every time I gave to guilt? What if I've been far
The acoustic guitar is still going.
What a monster to ourselves. What if I'm the monster? Is the Cyclops struck with guilt when he kills? Is he up in the middle of the night? Or does he end my men to avenge his friend and then sleep knowing he has done him right?
The sound design for the what I imagine is supposed to be like a kick drum. It almost sounds like someone's knocking on a door, but like very muffled, if that makes any sense. Pum 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 pum.
The Cyclops struck with guilt when he kills. Is he up in the middle of the night? Or does he end my men to avenge his friend and then sleep knowing he has done him right? When the witch turns men to pigs to protect her nymphs, is she going insane? Or
Yeah, I
does she
like
learn to be called
how minimal this part is. We have the guitar, we have that door knocking kick, and the choir. And that's about it. There are really only like 3 tracks here. And that gives like a good emphasis on the knocking for one, and also for Odysseus's vocals to come out and like really emphasize, what's the word again? The internal reflection that he's doing right here.
avenge his friend and then sleep knowing he has done him right? When the witch turns men to pigs to protect her nymphs, is she going insane? Or did she learn to be
And the
cold
reverb
when
on the
she
voice
got
also.
older and now she saves
Partly because this is an internal reflection, and also because he's in kind of like an empty place with a lot of rocks that gives his voice naturally a lot of reverb also.
them the pain. When a god comes down and makes the fleet drown, is he scared
Aha,
that he's
and the
doing something
drums coming
wrong?
in here.
Or does he keep us in check so we must respect him, and now no one dares to piss him off? Does a
The wood
soldier
blocks.
use a wooden horse to kill sleeping Trojans 'cause he is vile? Or does he throw away his
And the
remorse
strings
and
come back
save
in
more
also.
lives with guile? If I became
Kill the
threw
monster.
that guilt away, would that make us stronger? Would it keep our foes
Took out all the
at bay?
heavy drums.
If I became the monster to everyone but us, if I became the monster to
Bum bum bum. What instrument was that? A harp?
foes at bay, would that make us stronger? Would it keep our foes at bay? If I became the monster to everyone but us,
I almost think that's a harp, but that could be the guitar.
again, who would care if we're unjust? If I became the
And like that jet engine sound. That's the riser.
we're unjust. If I became the oh, ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves.
Monster.
I know this well.
Deep down, I was gonna point that out also. Again, this is another callback to, which one was it? Just a Man. Because remember in the, like when he's kind of talking to himself, he's saying, deep down, I would trade the world to see my son and wife. And here he's doing another reflection. Where? What is he doing? He's thinking that deep down, he would trade the world to get back home because he has already lost so much by not giving up the world.
I lost my best friend, I lost my mentor, my mom, 500 men gone. This can't go on.
I must get to see Penelope. I like that stress he gives onto, I must get to see Penelope.
And this can't go on. I must get to see Penelope and Telemachus. So if we must sail through dangerous oceans,
Aha, and the guitar gets replaced by the distorted electric one now.
So if we must sail through dangerous oceans and beaches, I'll go where Poseidon won't reach us. And if I gotta drop another infant from a wall in an instant so we all don't die, then
I'll become the monster.
I will deal the blow, and I'll become the monster like none they've ever known. So what if I'm the monster?
I somehow cannot hear the other layers. Why does it still somehow sound so minimal but so much more impactful? Why? What am I not hearing? What's wrong with my ears?
I will deal the blow, and I'll become
I hear cellos.
monster like none they've ever known. So what if I'm the monster?
And the guitar. Ba-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na. Yeah, I sang the wrong note. Ba-na-na-na-na. Odysseus' theme. Very far back in the mix.
And I'll become the monster like none they've ever known. So what if I'm the monster lurking deep below? I must become the monster, and then we'll make it home.
Yeah, it's like cello and the distorted guitar. Penelope, Telemachus. And there are more strings. And now the guitar matches the crew singing Monster. Yeah, I take that as to be like Odysseus now merges even more with the word monster because he's changing into a monster, which is the whole title of this song and the whole purpose of it, because he's going to become more heartless. And the callback to Poseidon, ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves, again re-emphasizing that he's going to become more ruthless, more heartless.
I'll become the monster.
Brown. The brass plus the guitar, and again, the brass relating to Poseidon. So, yeah, the overall, this entire, there's a lot of calls to Poseidon and the ocean in general, because I guess that is where he really comes to face what ruthlessness means. Thanks to Poseidon and ruthlessness being his thing in the whole of Epic. So yeah, I really like that Jorge brings in the brass to emphasize on all of the times when it is basically life-threatening, and like how Odysseus really needs to internalize what it means to be ruthless But as a character, I think he kind of overcorrects himself, because ever since Polites died, and like kind of instilled the more pacifist outlook with open arms, yeah, he has been at least trying to implement that. Letting Polyphemus live, and not wanting to harm Cersei. Yeah, not wanting to leave the crew behind, like Eurylochus said during Cersei's Island. And that clearly has not worked out well for him. And so now, as a character, he kind of thinks that, okay, fine, if this end of the spectrum is clearly not working, then surely the other extreme end has to work, right? And that, at least to me, kind of feels like the direction that he's going, which obviously isn't great, but it is the direction that he takes nonetheless. But yes, with that, we have come to the end of the Underworld Saga. Yay! Act 1 is done. Yay!